Hope you guys are doing well. We're gonna be doing another telephone death game. Somewhat, yeah. So we switch a few things due to technical difficulties. To explain the new rules, all the devs have 2 hours to contribute to the game, all of which know the theme. However, each individual dev has a chance to switch or add something that it goes totally opposite to the theme. Well, that was it for the intro. Let's get to it, Redline.
So hello everyone, I'm Redline from Nitrogen Studios, and that's all I'm gonna say about myself, as you probably don't care. Let's instead take a look at what I did in my 2 hours. I started by making a to-do board in Obsidian's Kanban community plugin, as I always do for any game I'm making. It helps to reduce procrastination caused by not knowing what to do next, as it gives small tasks to work towards. I decided to start with the easy ones, such as making the player heart sprite and setting up the player movement script in a separate component for extra clean code. I set up some custom inputs for moving, jumping, and the dash ability for later on the challenge. I wanted to try out something fancy with the camera, which is why I installed Phantom Camera, which is similar to Unity's Cinemachine package. Next, I started working on some rooms, and it's probably the most important part of my game idea, which I should probably explain. My idea was a platformer bullet hell, where the player and the boss takes turns in attacking each other. The player would have a choice between attacking and acting, like in Undertale, except I just didn't make that, as I wanted to see if the others would implement it. Another thing I stole from Undertale was the player movement. By default, the player is in blue heart mode, which is what you would find in the Papyrus and Sense boss fight. While the player is blue, they get affected by gravity and can jump off the ground. I mentioned the dash earlier, but it's not actually a dash. Instead, I gave the ability to the player to turn into a red heart mode for a few seconds, which is the default in Undertale, where the player can basically fly. After the room system was done, I started working on a health component that would be used on both the player and the boss. It has 2 functions, one for damage and one for healing. Both of these emit signals, so integrating them into other scripts is really easy. Now that we can damage the player, I started working on bullets that actually cause the damage. Once again, I made a separate component for bullet movement, which has homing towards the target. The boss would shoot these bullets after some amount of time passes. I added a trail for a bit of polish, and I like trails on bullets, so might as well. Next, I wanted to add some bouncy lava that damages the player, but knocks them high into the air. By now, I was almost done with everything I wanted, and so I moved on to the polishing phase and adding a bit more content. In the remaining time, I added a timer to the rooms, made a couple more levels, and added a text tutorial so that nobody misses the dash ability. For the last polishing steps, I added bloom and turned the player sprite into a health bar. And yeah, that's all I managed to do in 2 hours. I hope that's gonna be good enough base for the other devs to work on, but we'll see how that's gonna go. On to the next person. See ya.
Is this thing recording? Is it recording? Oh yeah, it is recording. Hi, my name is Drigozx, and you might know me for being the dumb, stupid idiot that I am. I'm a game developer, and I'm working on my own project called Cybernetics. Check it out if you want. Yeah, check it out. I swear to God, you better check it out. I've been invited to work on this project. That's in Godot. If you're not familiar, I don't do Godot. Or Godot. How do you even say it?
Gouda, Goodut, Goitoya Gouda. I think we can safely rule that last one out.
Let's see, what else do I have to say in my script? That's it. Okay, this shouldn't be that hard, you know, just boot up Godot, see how hard it is. Okay, how does this work? There's a lot of, so I'll just press play. Oh, WASD space to jump. Left shift to turn red. What does turning red do? Oh, what the? Turning red allows you to stay in the air? Oh. Oh, crap. Oh. Okay, this... Okay, that's a bit broken. I don't actually die, but... I'm guessing you ran out of time? Oh, there's another boss. Okay, so after wasting my time, I decided to start planning what I was gonna do. I noticed a couple of bugs in the game, like the player wouldn't die, which is a problem, but do you think I'm gonna fix that? No! The game does seem really fun and I feel like it has a lot of potential. It's just, I don't do Godot. What am I meant to do? Okay, so my best bet is literally to work on sound because I can't even implement the sound. I have to put it in the folder, but that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna use this website and maybe find some other sounds as well, just to make some sounds. It's called I can't pronounce it. It's called JSFXR. Just for her. Yeah, basically just generates random sounds. I'll generate like 3 of the same sounds and mix them together. Maybe look some up and change them a bit. Just make it sound nice. Okay, so after speedrunning sound design, I finally have like some decent sounds. So I'm gonna play them to you one by one, because how else would I show you them? Yeah. Of course, I made a couple more sound effects, but I'm not going to show you them because they're just like generic sounds like clicking and stuff. But yeah, at this point I didn't have that much time left, but I still had like 45 minutes, which is actually not that bad. It's like half the time. I started drawing things because I got bored, but I didn't do the best job. Then when I improved my artistic skills, I drew some brick textures, not the best, but it works. I only had not a lot of time left. Then I drew a duck because my girlfriend asked me to. No way I have a girlfriend, no way. Game developer has a girlfriend, no way. The conversation went something like this. What should I draw into the game?
Oh my gosh, add a duck, add a duck, add a duck.
I mean, yeah, I can add a duck, but how would the duck contribute to...
Add the duck.
I then add the duck to the game and then not add the brick textures because I didn't know how to. I'm so smart. And yeah, that's it for me. I'm gonna pass this game on to the next developer now and let's see what they do.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Echo of Cats vs. Aliens fame. Psst, you can wishlist it on Steam now. And I was third in line for this event. This was my first time working on something in Godot 4 instead of 3.5.3. Since I have a base familiarity with an earlier version of this engine, I figured this was a good way to dive into the newest version and get my feet wet before attempting a full-scale project with it. Initially, when I was invited, my brain immediately began coming up with tons of ideas for what I would want my part to be, but I had to shut that down because all of my ideas were context sensitive and I had no actual idea what I was about to get into. I at first thought that I would add some art assets, but I decided not to do that because, well, I was working on my laptop for this and I had forgotten to set it up for art beforehand, and I didn't want to waste a bunch of my time on configuring that stuff. Instead, I implemented art that was passed on from a previous dev, and during that process, I ended up breaking a lot of stuff.
Make sure I didn't break anything making that tile set. Woohoo! I definitely broke something making that tile set.
I think I broke tile map collisions a total of 4 times during my 2 hours. It was a bit stressful, but ultimately forced me to get a handle on the new tile map system in Godot 4, which was sort of in this uncanny valley area for me, where things were just similar enough to what I was accustomed to annoy the hell out of me. I spent a good portion of my time whinging about stuff moving from where I was used to it being, but I ended up learning quite a bit. My biggest struggle, aside from learning the new Godot layout, was getting the UI items to work with the way the game was set up. Typically in Godot, I'd work within this space, but a dev before me had everything moved and hard-coded into the logic for the new positions. I had a hard time not going and refactoring all of it to work within the expected camera area, but untangling it at this point was already fairly involved, and I didn't want to only make back-end changes, so I did my best to work with what I had and moved on. I was hoping I would have time to add some new random rooms, but given that I broke collision yet again with only about 10 minutes left in my turn, I didn't get around to it. I was able to add in a locking door mechanic so the player could no longer escape the room backward, a scoring mechanic, and most importantly, a collision to the duck so you could pet it. I even added a couple of functions that the future devs could use for more duck interactions. So with everything reasonably in shape and at least compiling and launching, I packed it up and sent it off.
Hi all, I'm Isaac from Chaff Games, and I've been working with Godot for over 4 years now. And over on my YouTube channel, I make tutorials and devlogs for Godot. I also work on an FPS template, which has a complete tutorial series, documentation, and is available in the asset library. So while Echo was hard at work, I was fast asleep. And being Easter Friday, I decided to sleep in and give myself a rest. Unfortunately, I had neglected to check the schedule when it was posted, and I woke up to many messages on Discord asking me if I had received the project and started working. It was a bit of an unfortunate start, so I smashed my coffee and downloaded the project, desperate to catch up and not put anyone else behind. The very first thing that I did was play the game, which seemed like it was off to a good start. We have movement and a clear goal. Fight the boss. One glaringly obvious problem was that I could not, for the life of me, find a way to achieve that goal. Oh, and there's a duck here for some reason. Hey, buddy. It said fight the boss, but as far as I could tell, there was no way to fight the boss. I also noticed that we were the health bar in this game for some reason, which is pretty cool. I'm guessing it has something to do with a theme, but other than that, I could not tell what the theme might have been. So because of the oversleeping part, I've got only an hour and a half, and I'm going to give the player a way to kill the boss. I think that's the best way to go. I jumped in and had a look at the player and noticed very quickly there was some use of components going on here, which we love to see. And I decided to continue the trend. I downloaded a crosshair pack from Kenny and brought it into the project, created a node 2D to hold the crosshair and set it up so that the crosshair will follow the mouse. It's pretty annoying to see the mouse over the sprite, so I set it up so that the mouse was hidden. So now we can aim, but we need something to fire. And you know what has bullets? The boss. The boss fires bullets. And I thought, or hoped, that the boss bullets would be abstract enough that I could slap them on the player and I'd be able to fire so many bullets from that bad boy. Jesus, that meme's like 5 years old or something. Anyway, unfortunately, they were tied pretty closely to the boss, so I had to create my own player bullet object. I kept all of the art though. I'll leave that there for someone else to clean up. Converting the boss bullet for the player was relatively straightforward. Since I didn't need the bullets to track anything, I was just going in a straight line. So it was really just an exercise of pulling things out and leaving behind what I needed. I found it really interesting that the rigid bodies were used here, but they didn't have colliders and instead had area 2Ds. I've never encountered that before, and I was tempted to change it, but in the end decided to leave it as is since I was running out of time. I had to add a hitbox to the boss since I didn't have one, and I set up a way to pass the damage onto the health component. Turns out this was an identical component to the player, which created some conflict, so I ended up having to create a separate script to get around that. No time for pretty or neat solutions. Speaking of not pretty, now that we have a way of killing the boss, we need something to show us the damage we have done. And a really cheeky way to do this is with a horizontal slider, which is obviously a UI element. So hopefully that won't become an issue later. I hooked up the slider's max value to the max health, and whenever the boss takes damage, we update that value. Then we can change the grabber area to be a Starblocks flat, and it looks like a health bar, which is pretty neat. And that's all I really had time for. I had to zip this thing up in a hurry and send it off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Hello, the boss is Godot. Also, what's that? Yeah, I'm not going to contribute any code to this project, but I can still make some art. So yeah. Art's done, so here's what I added. I gave the background tile maps and added a little depth effect, kind of. So hopefully the future developers know how to use tile maps to make new levels, but I also went over all the old levels. Also, giant pool of lava, pretty important. What else did I add? That guy. Didn't paint over the doors though. I just feel like it's interesting having different doors. I added these lanterns, and that's about it. I really hope the next dev will improve upon I feel like the boss is a little too stale right now with just same spot every time, shoot at the boss, no problem. I just feel like there could be something more interesting, like movement or other attacks. Just something else to keep everything going. But yeah, good luck to the next developer. Goodbye.
Oh, it's my turn already. Hey there, it's me, TheYellowDude, and I make games using Godot game engine. Because why not? So I received the project files quite earlier than my time, and me being a good boy, I didn't open the project. After 4 hours, it was finally time to get started, so I quickly downloaded the project and opened it. After opening the project, the first thing that I did was to play the game, because that's how I understand what's going on, and I really liked the visuals of the game. Then I started the timer and started exploring the project, and as soon as I looked into the file system, I saw this folder and I knew exactly what I had to do. So I created a simple audio manager and implemented the sounds into the game. It was a long process because I had to go over each script to understand what was happening where, and after 30 minutes, all of the sounds were implemented. The previous devs had created an enemy which was working, but it had no movement. So I made a basic flying movement for the enemy/boss, and it was looking good enough. But after making the movement, I noticed that the enemy was also present in the start room, which shouldn't happen, so I deleted it from the main scene, and that kinda broke the entire game. So I tried the next hour or so trying to fix the boss spawning system, and when it was completed, it was actually good. I also changed the bullet behavior from spawning per click to just holding the mouse button to spawn bullets with a given fire rate. At this point, only a few minutes were remaining, so I cleaned up the project by deleting unnecessary files, bye-bye big white Godot, and packed the project files in a zip file and set it to the next dev. And with that, my turn was over. Thank you so much for having me in this, and good luck to the next devs. Bye-bye.
Hey, I'm Queble. I'm an indie game developer and also a YouTuber. Now, since I've already participated in this Pass the Game challenge, I was really excited to do it again as we had a lot more developers this time. And when I got the project files, I was really excited to see how far the game had come, since last time I was the first one to start the project and I didn't get to really see it until everything was finished. But here's my live reaction to opening the project for the first time. Alright, so you can see here I've just opened up the project for the first time, and we're going to see kind of what's going on. This is actually kind of neat. Score, you don't even have one yet. Okay, so we might have to do the score. I'm going to go ahead and run the game. Okay, so we have a duck. Okay, so space to jump. We can shoot fireballs. I don't know what this box is, but I guess we'll see. I'm going to full screen this. Oh my gosh. I'm going to probably add some lights to these platforms so that we can see them easily. Okay, so what you're seeing now is essentially me going through the entire project, and I was kind of trying to figure out where everything was, but I did end up optimizing a few systems, like changing the collisions for each of the levels, and then I also added a bit of lights to kind of lighten up the scenes since it was kind of difficult to see, and then I also changed some of the physics for the bullets. They were not really colliding with the enemy correctly, and also the enemy had this weird bug where it could shoot through walls. So basically I just fixed that. I also added a little ring that goes around the heart, because I figured out there was another mode you could switch into by pressing shift, and that would kind of allow you to float around. So I added that for a more visual representation of the amount of time you have left in that state. And next up you can kind of see where I left the game, and when my time ran out, how little I was actually able to change. We're going to make the duck green just to annoy somebody. And timer is now complete. So basically I've added this light change, so when you go into your shift mode, which is just like a heart so you can fly around, it will make this little ring around you, which goes all the way to 0. I wanted to add a progress bar for like your charge, because right now you don't know how, like when you can actually use this skill, since it will just charge over time in the background, but I did think that was a nice little addition. I gave the duck a hat, and like you just saw, made him green for no apparent reason. So we'll see what people do with that. If you go to the next room, it has horrible loading times, so I did want to change that. Something with the loading is just not correct, but I did add collisions for the player's bullets, and I added a destructor timer thing, which was kind of just hard-coded around the system that was already in place. I gave the enemies some hit animations, hit effects, changed up the collisions in some of the levels, and made the lanterns in more useful places so that you can actually see the platforms you're trying to jump on. There is still a glitch with dying in the lava. It will just like absolutely destroy your GPU at certain times, so I did want to fix that but just didn't have enough time. But yeah, we'll see what the next developer does with this game. and I'm really excited to see the final project. So I'm gonna zip up these folders, and I'm just gonna zip up the files and send them to the next developer. I forgot where I put this. I don't even know who the next developer is.
So, we decided to add a French guy. This is Adam.
Avant même d'ouvrir le
Welcome, Adam. And, I just wanted to let you guys know. Adam, take it away.
Avant même d'ouvrir le projet, je savais que je voulais travailler sur les visuels plus qu'autre chose. La première chose que j'ai remarqué, c'est le gros freeze de 1 ou 2 secondes entre les salles, donc j'ai rajouté un écran de chargement en empruntant un petit code sur Godot Shaders. Ensuite, j'ai rajouté une police et un contournois à tous les textes, comme ça c'est un peu plus beau. D'ailleurs, si vous voulez faire des animations de ce genre dans vos jeux, j'ai publié un plugin sur le Godot Marketplace qui sert à faire ça. Vous pouvez l'utiliser sur n'importe quelle variable, en l'occurrence je l'ai utilisé sur la rotation et la taille du curseur quand on tire. J'ai aussi rajouté des particules quand la balle se casse, et aussi quand le boss meurt. Après ça, j'ai bossé sur un fond parallaxe qui suit le curseur, c'est trop stylé. Pour avoir ce résultat, j'ai décalé les 2 tilesets en fonction de la position du curseur sur l'écran. C'est compliqué, mais en vrai c'est simple. J'ai aussi fait un petit effet quand on se prend un dégât en superposant 2 shaders ensemble que j'ai aussi trouvé sur Godot Shaders. Et apparemment ce shader a causé quelques problèmes pour l'export Linux, mais bon. Et pour finir, vu qu'il me restait pas beaucoup de temps, j'ai décidé de mettre un peu de musique et de faire un logo. Pour la musique c'était pas très compliqué, j'ai juste téléchargé celle de Undertale. Et pour le logo, j'ai fait un petit truc rapide sur Photoshop. Bonne chance au prochain dev.
Hello everyone, GreenCrowDe here. If you don't know me, I'm the developer of UnDERTALE, a visual scripting plugin for Godot 4 to generate procedural geometry, just like Blender geometry nodes, but integrated directly into Godot engine. It's also completely free and open source. If you want to check it out, you can learn more about it through my devlogs on my YouTube channel. But now, head to the challenge. I'm pretty excited to see what the others have achieved. Oh my. What's this? Lanterns. I like how this looks. Let's just run the project and see what happens. Oh. Little did I know what expected me. I'm not that good at it. So, this is what we're going to do. Since I noticed there's no way to heal our character, let's make the boss drop a potion when it dies. I quickly designed a potion sprite, created the scene in Godot, implemented the logic, and added some little particles here and there. But I also have to address the twist of the challenge. I have to make something as the opposite of another thing in this theme. What about this white cube? It doesn't do anything. Why not change it into a circle and make it look like a black hole? And make it restore your health while we add it. Here we go. This should be good to go. Let's see if it works. Now the game starts with the heart. Not completely healed, but you can take this potion. And here we go, you're at max health. Here we go. It works. So, we did it!
We did it, GreenCrowDe! Okay, now let's see what the devs think of all of this.
When I picked it up, the loading was kind of janky, so that's nice that that's working well.
So far I see my own game, so that's good.
I added the dog. Who put the hat on it?
That would be me.
Okay, when do we go?
This is very polished.
Okay, I just kill him. Oh no.
Wow, this is I'm really bad at these kind of games.
Oh, there's different levels?
Oh,
There's at least 4.
That's
Because I made 4 levels.
has been used for the doors. I'm Yeah.
Jeez, they're still firing at me after a game reset.
This is very well polished. I like this.
No, I just love how it looks. I'm just amazed. Like,
Yeah, the visuals are really nice.
Would you guys say that it follows the Undertale feel?
I think the boss really feels like Undertale.
Yes.
And the heart is obviously copied.
I never played Undertale. Too bad.
Did you have to like search up how Undertale like?
Nah,
search up, like, any
I
videos?
didn't even have time for that. I was just like, Undertale, that's interesting. Anyway.
What challenges did you guys like have? Like when you received it?
I
thought,
had no idea how to read code.
So,
yeah,
so what
same
did you
here. I
do?
was kind of lost. I was like I couldn't figure out where much stuff was. So I was like trying to add things, and then it would break the whole project. So I had to like fix a bunch of bugs. But
I broke collisions so many times on the tile map.
I tried to figure out how the engine works. It didn't get too far. Couldn't even add sounds.
I just gave up on coding and made art.
Dragozx, what did you like mainly focus on when it was given to you? What did you do?
Okay, so first I tried to figure out how everything works, which I
Right.
did that in like half an hour. Then I'm like, shit, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna focus on sound, and I don't think any of the sounds I actually made. But then I made the duck because my girlfriend asked to make a duck, so I made one.
Is it the duck that is in the beginning?
Yeah, that's the duck.
Okay.
And then a hat got added to it.
I had tried to make the duck have like some kind of interaction thing whenever like it would pop up and say, you know, oh, you pet the duck. I had a lot of trouble getting the GUI to play nice because of the way the world was positioned in relation to like where I'm used to working with the GUI in Godot.
Wait, you could pet the duck? Wait.
I don't.
Wait.
That's pretty
The
cool.
10 out of 10 game, thumbs up, 5 thumbs up. What, you can pet the duck since when? How do you pet the duck?
That's a score thing, yeah, that kept track of your room.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that and the boss should get harder.
Bugging the game. How am I
wait,
doing?
is there a score counter?
I don't see one.
Is it? I can't
It's
find
not there anymore. There was one. There's not one anymore.
Oh really? I can see it.
This is brilliant, though. Great job.
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
like it.
Very well polished. Better than most of the games I've ever made.
Yeah, it's actually, so good.
Like,
it
Yeah,
looks
it's actually
amazing.
really
If you
I like it.
if you would compare this to the original thing I made, it's like pretty close, except like the shooting things and the boss isn't moving.
Who made the boss? Because that looks really good. I like the
Oh, the animations and stuff.
Yeah.
I made
Who
the
made-
boss.
Nice.
Let's go.
I drew out like the tile map. I added the like, fire below and drew out the boss and the health bar.
Oh, so can I ask a question then? If you made the boss and it says fight the boss, right? When I got the file, there was no way to fight the boss. What
Wait,
was the intention?
I have no clue. I
On
mean,
my
wait,
version-
actually, I mean, it's in my part in the video.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not gonna add any fighting because I wanna see what others would do.
Oh, nice. Okay. Then, yeah.
In my part, you could
wasn't
shoot
sure.
the boss to death.
Yeah. Yeah, I added the shooting mechanic because when I got it, it was like, oh, here, there's a boss. Fight the boss. And
Were you guys thinking of adding like more enemies or?
I wanted to. I was trying to like make it more modular because I realized that the enemy was like it was always in the scene tree, so it would just like show itself and do the stuff when you spawn into a level. So I was gonna like try to make the enemies a bit more modular so that I could just spawn them in, but I didn't get around to it.
I had the same issue. When I initially designed like the bullet and the ability to kill the boss, I just keyed it free because that's what I always do, and like the game crashed entirely. I was like, oops. So instead I just reset the animation, I think, but it was really early days, so it wasn't even moving.
If you guys had like another chance to like go back at it, like keep on adding, I guess one thing would be the enemies. What else would it be?
I just make new music. That's not Undertale stuff.
I'd make more rooms. I had actually intended to do that, but I ran into, like I said, multiple times throughout my 2 hours, I broke the collision, so I didn't have time to go back and add more room variations, but that was something I wish I had been able to get to.
I think I would change the bullets up a bit, just because they're a bit unpredictable sometimes, because like sometimes they'll just freeze in one spot or like wrap around corners, so maybe make like different types of bullets and power-ups or something, so the combat's a bit more interesting.
I actually really like how the bullets wrap around how they like adhere to the collision and just kind of wrap around the scenery. I think that's fun.
I just probably had another duck or something. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't. I wish I could add more, but I really can't. I think
More
a duck
ducks.
is just. Yeah, more ducks. That's where my limit is. I can't go any further. Just ducks. Maybe
Maybe like
another
a
animal.
goose or a swan at some point.
Yeah, but I literally, that's my limit. I don't know this engine at all, but it was fun experimenting with it. It was something new, and it's just, yeah, like it was a challenge, and I learned something new. But at the same time, I was also frustrated that nothing was working.
Well guys, that was pretty fun. As you can see, everybody did incredible with this challenge. The game came out pretty neat. All the devs did incredible on their chunk, and it came out beautiful. If you have any ideas for challenges like these, go to our Discord server. We're gonna be listening to all of your suggestions. UpSkill is running a 3-chained event as of now, where graphic designers, music producers, and 3D modelers take part of it. Join up the Discord server for more information. If you guys want to see more videos like these, subscribe down below. Well, that was pretty much all, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And like I always say, embrace the journey, guys. Bye-bye.